Hey guys, and welcome to Vegan Beauty Girl. Today we are talking about Charlotte Tilbury and whether or not the brand is still cruelty free. Sadly, the answer is no. So we're going to have a little bit of a chit chat as I do my makeup for the day. I'm just going to leave details of everything I'm using in the description rather than mention them every time. Okay, so what's the scoop? Basically, I feel like Charlotte Tilbury's been dipping in and out of the grey area for years. It's mostly to do with them doing pop-up shops in China. So they did it once and they thought that'd be fine. They thought that they could do a pop-up shop in China where they weren't selling products, where people could just try their products and that they wouldn't be subject to animal testing. Then they learned that that wasn't the case and they pulled out of China. But then late last year they got found doing the same thing again. So basically, Cruelty Free Kitty, who is one of the leading cruelty free bloggers, I'd say you've got like Cruelty Free Kitty, Ethical Elephant, Logical Harmony. There are other reputable cruelty free blogs, but these are the big ones. So Cruelty Free Kitty has declared that Charlotte Tilbury is no longer considered cruelty free, as the brand was again spotted in pop-up stores in China. And her statement is that it pains me to inform you that Charlotte Tilbury has not ceased their pop-up shops in China for 2020. They have been spotted yet again in November of 2020 at several Little B locations in Shanghai. For these reasons, we cannot in good conscience consider Charlotte Tilbury to be a cruelty-free brand. We've moved them to the grey area indefinitely. We believe that any brand who is ready to risk having their products tested on animals, no matter how small the risk is not cruelty-free. This does not mean that Charlotte Tilbury tests on animals or funds animal testing. That being said, brands in the grey area are not brands that we support and recommend. In the case of Charlotte Tilbury, they have opened the window to their products being tested on animals post-market, although they have bypassed pre-market animal testing. In other words, their products could be tested on animals in China and this is not something we can support. So that's very similar to stuff like Dove, Aussie, Herbal Essences. They all sell in China, and because they're like special products, they don't have to have the pre-market animal testing, but there's still that risk of post-market animal testing, and it's not guaranteed, but it's still a risk, and typically cruelty-free shoppers would not consider that cruelty-free. If there's a risk your products are going to be tested on animals, we like the brands that are like, no, we're gonna do everything we can to ensure that they're not, which includes not selling in China. So I actually stopped supporting Charlotte Tilbury last year when the brand got bought by Poog, because I avoid cruelty-free companies with non-cruelty-free parent companies. So for me, I've already made peace with the fact that I can't use Charlotte Tilbury anymore, but I am still going through some of the last of my Charlotte Tilbury products, and that includes this like Wonder foundation, which I actually do really love, and I am sad to see it go. I've spoken about this before and I will be replacing it with the Per 4-in-1 tinted foundation once this has run out, because I find them very similar in being lovely like coverage options. Again with Charlotte Tilbury as well, I'm disappointed but I'm not surprised. They've never been a brand that has really been like cruelty free, like very intentionally cruelty free. It always felt very accidental, like they just didn't sell in China, but it didn't really feel like an ethical choice. Like they never went out of their way to get a cruelty free certification, and like a brand their size couldn't really say like, oh, we couldn't afford to. It just clearly was never a priority for them, and I think that's why it's just not surprising. They were just always fortunately cruelty free rather than intentionally. But it's such a shame, like even though I stopped using them when they got bought by Poog, I know that a lot of cruelty-free shoppers still really loved them and relied on them, and it did make things so much easier when you're trying to convince people. Like you've got people who like higher end, more luxurious makeup products. Charlotte Tilbury was such a great brand to recommend, so it's really sad to not be able to do that anymore. I always use like the wrong makeup brushes when I'm doing my makeup, so don't like let me know I'm using a foundation brush to bronzer. I'm aware I do it. My bronzing brush is too busy being my blush brush. It's just really sad to see brands just stop being cruelty free in this day and age. It's just frustrating. I do think we'll see the end of cosmetic animal testing within the next 10 years. I do believe we'll see that change. I do find it interesting when we get to that point, like when cosmetic animal testing is banned globally, what are we going to do about the brands that chose money over going cruelty free? Are we just gonna be happy that everyone's now cruelty free, or are we gonna kind of like hold a grudge? I don't know. I reckon there'll be more standards. I think there's a lot about the beauty industry which could be better. I know we call it cruelty free, but there's a lot more cruelty in the beauty industry beyond testing on animals, so hopefully we'll reshift our focus and challenge brands to do better in other ways, like having transparent supply chains and fair trade ingredients and things like that. Hopefully we'll see more conversation on that and more certifications on that as well. I find it very hard when I do talk about ethical beauty and try and discuss like other ways we can be ethical with our beauty, because cruelty free, there are just so many like certifications out there, so many blogs out there, and it's also quite clear cut, like how can you tell something's cruelty free? We've already kind of like established that conversation, whereas if we're looking at something that is like a fair certification saying that like suppliers have been treated fairly. I don't feel like that groundwork's necessarily been as well established, so I really would love to see a bit more of a conversation on what a standard would be on like other issues. Also, when we're looking at like racism, I'd love to see a certification come out which looks at stuff like who's on the management team of a company, how many foundation shades do they have adequate amount of swatches. You know, like there are so many different areas where like racism is like integrated in the beauty industry, and it'd be really cool to have a certification which showed that brand was doing the work. Yeah, it would just be cool to get more certifications around other different ethics. I know we've already got some for like eco ingredients, like organic ingredients, but yeah, like specifically other ethics would be cool. But let me know if I just don't know about them down below. I'm going on a walk today. That's all we can really do these days. Just walk here, walk there. I'm gonna go into the city. Sometimes I walk around local parks, other days I go into London, and it's just quite nice. I'm very grateful I'm living in London this side of the pandemic. It does make things a little bit easier. I feel more at home here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now, in another like sad ode to Charlotte Tilbury, I have one of her Hot Lips refillable lipsticks, which I never got the chance to refill, and I was like down to this much. I really did enjoy the shade as well, and yeah, basically you can pull it out and refill, so you get this part of the lipstick forever and you just have to replace it. Although review wise, this used to have like a really gorgeous design on it, and she had a few different designs, and it rubbed off within like the first month. But I do love this shade. I am going to be on the hunt for a dupe for this. It's been a long time since I've been able to read the shade on the bottom of this. Oh, I think it's Viva La Vigora. Yeah, that was it. So if anyone knows a good cruelty-free swap, that would be greatly appreciated. I think I'm gonna have to like save a bit of that until shops reopen, and then just take that and swatch that lipstick against other lipsticks on my hand, and then I'll find a good match, hopefully, like at least shade wise, maybe not formula wise. Yeah, it's just such a shame to see Charlotte Tilbury go. I am doing some research on more luxury brands right now for my vegan beauty challenge, which is my daily email campaign every January. I'll leave a link down below, even if you've missed it this year. It will be back next January. Highlighter on my eyes. There are so many products of Charlotte Tilbury which were just very reliable and luxurious, and it's sad to no longer be able to use them. But yeah, I did a question box the other day on my Instagram asking people to let me know of any luxurious vegan beauty brands. I got a lot through, and I'm just trying to create a spreadsheet basically, because I need to just double check all these brands are cruelty free, whether or not the parent company is cruelty free. And I also want to divide them up between like skincare, makeup, hair care even. God, nowhere near my eyelid. I've got a lot of brands on there, and I just need to do like the checks and the discoveries. But yeah, I'll be putting them out in emails, and I'll probably publish some form of it in a blog post as well, so I will leave those luxurious recommendations down below once they are published. I'm excited to discover a few more luxurious, cruelty-free, vegan-friendly brands and share them with you guys, because we need a little bit more luxury. I often go for quite like budget makeup, if I'm honest. Like a lot of the stuff I've been using here has been MUA. Oh, do you know what, fun fact, I actually do have the Charlotte Tilbury mascara, and I thought it was rubbish. It was such a waste of money. I know some people really love it, but it just was not for me. I just find that regular old makeup works fine for me. I shouldn't have done setting spray so fast. I don't normally wear mascara basically. Yeah, I much prefer getting a lash lift. That was just a disaster. I'm sorry. I'm just disappointed about Charlotte Tilbury, but what can you do? They just never prioritised being cruelty free. It was never a big part of them, so it's not a shock. Please do feel free to use the comment section down below to let everyone know about your best Charlotte Tilbury cruelty-free vegan dupes. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news if you did not know already that Charlotte Tilbury are no longer cruelty-free. If you enjoy vegan beauty, if you want to be kept up to date with the latest cruelty-free news, please do subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, join my mailing list. There are lots of ways to stay in touch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a lovely day, and until next time, bye!